All right, guys. If you're watching this, you are part of the upper tier. You think I'm worth more than $3 a month. And I just want you guys to know that I am eternally grateful for your contributions. I think that, I hate to say, well, those lower tier fools, they just like they're a lower class of people or something. And, you know, I understand. I mean, it's it's a weird time right now, to say the least. But I think that some people on YouTube specifically, and maybe in some of the $3 tier members, don't really understand that I make about $500 a month off YouTube, off the AdSense. You know, they partially monetize my videos, which means that I pretty much get butt fucked by YouTube, meaning they play ads, but then I get like a fraction of what I should get instead of full monetization. It's incredible how many of my videos aren't actually monetized. I'd say maybe like 3 out of 10 get monetized, something like that. It's probably accurate. About 30% of my videos. And I make about $500 off YouTube and $500-$600 off my book royalties. So that right there is, let's just say $1,000, just to be probably a little more honest, because my book doesn't do that well. It's okay. It's not enough to live off of. I mean, but you know, it's like 1 week worth of groceries, which I'm super grateful for. But you got to understand that my place that I live in a little, it's pretty much like a 1 bedroom, and then I have this little office down here, and you guys have seen it. I mean, it's nothing special. I'm grateful for it. I mean, a year ago I was in a cell, and we have a jacuzzi, we have a pool. We live in a guest house. And there's like a gate, so we're kind of gated in. There's a pool, jacuzzi, and all of our utilities are paid for, and Wi-Fi. We use their Wi-Fi. I'm like, I steal my landlord's Wi-Fi, but I'm just fucking around. They let us use it. So for $1,800, it's all inclusive. Well, I'm only making $1,000 between YouTube and my book royalties. So for a while, you know, I'd come up with little creative ways to try to make a little extra money. The album, the blotter, selling signed books, but that turned into a disaster just because it's so hard to keep track of it all. And then when I send stuff to people in Canada, I don't even think they realize I don't make anything. I actually lose money, and I donate anything, any dollar that I make off the paperback. I used to send people in prison free copies of my book and a little note saying, just trying to be encouraging, because I believe that that's a really nice thing to do for people. And now I'm trying to do the Narcan initiative. So, you know, and I'm okay with that. I've always really believed in charity, and I'll always be like that. It doesn't matter if I'm a multimillionaire or, you know, if I'm kind of like I am now. But when Patreon came along, right now I'm making, I don't know, probably like $2,800. That says $3,700. That's what it says like when I log in, but they take so much stuff. You know, they take 8% off the top. Every time you guys use a credit card, there's a transfer fee. It's crazy. So, you know, but with that being said, you know, it costs us about $500 a week in groceries, so for a family of 3. So that's, you know, $2,000 right there. And then I smoke cigarettes and she vapes. So that's like an additional $20 a month or a day. So that's like $600 a month. So basically you guys are paying for a tobacco habit. No, you know, diapers, food, gas. You know, sometimes when I go fag off with Sinister, I'm like, hey, we'll be there in 3 minutes. All right, cool. And we butt fuck. All that stuff costs money. So the reason I'm breaking this all down is just to give you somewhat of an idea of like how I'm living. It's not luxurious by any means, but I'm happy. I mean, I've never been a material guy, you know, as long as I'm getting a righteous butt fucking, I'm cool. I'm cool, homeboy. So, I mean, I'm comfortable, and honestly, I couldn't do that without you. Today I got a package from Danny, or Dan, and, you know, he sent me a couple boxes of groceries that were hard to find here in LA, and we're super appreciative of that. Same with Jeremy, sent me one a few days ago, and just anyone that is contributing to me financially, even if it's $3, even though you can't watch this, because, you know, I hate that they try to accuse me of like price gouging. Hey, that guy right there, price gouger. Whack. whackful. They think, okay, first of all, on the tiers, I'm pretty clear. For let's just go over them one more time so that you guys know. For $3 a month, you get early access to the YouTube. And now I'm intentionally kind of fucking up the consistency on YouTube to make it kind of annoying to encourage people to come over because, and honestly, the more money I make, and I donate quite a bit. I donate all sorts of random, like $5 here, 20, maybe 40, sometimes like $120 to different charity stuff. I give away a good chunk of money every month. But for $3, you get early access to YouTube and you get some extra stuff, pictures, whatever. For $10, you were supposed to get 2 extra videos a month. Last month, I did the 2 virginity videos. And you get all the other content, the pictures, all that. For $20, you're VIP. And see, the way I look at it is VIP, if someone's willing to pay $20, even $10, honestly, I trust you guys a little more so I can show you pictures of people that I might not want other people to see. And you get a private VIP live once a month. Then for the $100 tier, it's sponsored. Oh, and you get a gift at $20 tier. And it's taken a long time to get it all figured out. I got someone that can get me cheaper shipping, and then I had to pay an assistant to do an Etsy page. And I think that's probably the best way because I can catalog your addresses. I mean, it's just like any sort of e-commerce transaction. It's the easiest way I could think of. And you can get coupon vouchers. So you just go pick stuff out. I give you $20 voucher each month if you want to use, and Sinister stuff will be on there, Out Profits, all of that. I know we went over this on the other video, but just, I think it's important to go over it so you guys know exactly what it is. And if I owe you a gift from last month, then you have $40 this month. And I'm trying to launch that as soon as possible, but it's complicated. And I get a commission for, Out Profits American Dope clothing or Sinister's paintings, whatever. I get a commission from that too, so that helps me out. Then for the $100 tier, you'll get an exclusive gift, like a lithograph by Sinister. You'll get exclusive Uggs, which I have, signed stuff by Johnny Depp, shit like that, whatever I can do that I think you guys would appreciate. God, it's 7 minutes. You're like, fuck, I didn't pay for this. But this is what I wanted to say. I started thinking a lot about it, and I realized that one thing that you guys, really, I know what you want. You want extra stories. So I think I'm going to reframe. I'll still do everything I said I was going to do, but I think I'm going to focus a lot more on exclusive stories on here that will never, this story right here, this Florida series will never go on YouTube and it will never go below the $10 tier. But I need there to be incentives for each tier. It's not price gouging. It's like any business. I gave the $3 tier a free video as an advertisement, and I was clear about this. It's not like I pulled some fucking 3-card money shit. Like, hey, look, check it. That was a horrible example. Let's get into the story, dude. It's 8 minutes. I was milking that sales pitch this time for my people that don't deserve that at all. You guys are fucking cool. And by the way, for the $100 tier, you can see a naked picture of me. You can see my dick, my butthole. It doesn't matter. But I'm kind of offended that none of you guys want to see my dick? Weirdos. All right, let's get into the story. So where were we? Oh, I know where we were. I just stabbed NLR guy, Nazi lowrider. So what Nazi lowrider is it's completely contradictory. It's super hypocritical. It's pretty much skinheads. Well, that's where the Nazi thing comes from. But lowrider, so they're kind of like essays, like, hey, what's up, fool? Like, you kind of hear certain people talk like that. You ever notice that? Like, skinheads are like, nah, that fool was crazy. And you're like, damn, you sound Mexican, but like, you hate Mexicans. What the fuck? No, hey, that's just how I was schooled in the joint, dog. I've never liked skinheads. I don't know. I just don't. I like OG Badger because he's turned his life around and now he's committed to helping other people. But I don't know if you guys could tell in that interview. I was just like, well, I'm not racist, but and it's hard for me to understand how you could be racist. Now, that being said, being in prison makes you more prejudiced. If I see 4 black guys at 7-Eleven at 3 a.m, I'm like, get petrified because I'm like, oh my God. Something could crack off right now. And the chances of that are unlikely. But I happened to stab these guys. These guys were both NLR. Stomper and Ian, both Nazi lowriders. And I was 18 years old. The fact that I stabbed one of them was a big deal because they were white gang members. So they're kind of like Nazis, Southsider hybrid. They social distortion fans. Let's just say that. And, after we had run away from that house, we go to a Taco Bell bathroom. I talked about this in Wasting Talent. And I had a bloody wife beater on. It was crazy. We were running down the street, and I had blood all over me because I had hit some sort of artery. And when you hit an artery in real life, it's funny because I stabbed someone at 18. So I actually experienced what that was like, sticking a knife through a pumpkin and what it felt like for that blade to go in there and just stop at a bone. God, I look like a psycho when I do that. Oh, you must like that, Leone. Just stop, thud at the bone. It's a very, very disgusting feeling. And then in prison, I've seen people get stabbed a number of times. Especially the third term was insane. But it's funny because I'll be with people and be watching horror movies, and you'll see just crazy shit, like people stabbing each other and blood just like, there's like this volcanic stream of arterial blood, just like, a geyser just spraying out. And people are like, that's so fake. You have no idea what it looks like in real life if you think that. Actually, those really gory horror movies is exactly what it looks like. When you stab someone, it just like sprays out. It's insane looking. It sprayed enough where my entire face and wife beater was covered in blood. So I'd stabbed an LR guy. I knew I was hit. I'm hit. I live in a small beach town, and both of these guys were from Orange County. They weren't even from Santa Barbara. The fact that I stabbed them, and at the time there was a big skinhead population in Santa Barbara of all places, probably because we neighbor Ventura, and like P-Nice there. There's a lot of like skinhead gangs in Ventura. Generally, when there's one big skinhead gang, a bunch of other little wannabe skinhead gangs form, and then it's just a whole community of super non-judgmental white guys. Like, oh, hey, black guy, yeah, come here, man. Hey, I got free stuff here, too. Yeah, right. Pieces of shit. I don't know. I really don't like racism. I don't know. And whoa, you're not a solid white guy then. I guess I'm not a solid white guy. Well, I guess I'm a race traitor because I fuck a Mexican girl every night. What about that? I have a half Mexican son. I'm such a piece of shit. Weirdos. And then you'll run into guys that have the Hitler tattoo on their neck, shit like that. So we go into this bathroom, and I remember taking the bloody wife beater off and just kind of like wringing it, and this like blood was coming out, and the girl's name was Karina, not to be confused with the girl that I'm married to, but Karina was like, oh my god, that was so sexy. And I'm like, what? I'm wringing my bloody wife beater. I have this like one Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Can you see it? I have this old Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas tattoo. Can you see it? Why am I doing it like that? Why don't I just take my shirt off? I don't know. We're not there yet. Soon. $100 tier. We'll start doing shirtless videos. So like that's the only tattoo I had. You know what's weird about that tattoo in particular though is that that's a picture from the cover of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So that's Johnny Depp playing Hunter S. Thompson. And in that photo, he has a cigarette holder in his mouth with a cigarette. It's like I don't know, cigarette filter to make so your teeth don't get stained. And Hunter was known for having the cigarette holder. It's like a very iconic thing with Hunter. And Johnny, when I'm friends with Johnny now, and Johnny knows I'm a diehard Hunter. I mean, right when I met him, that's all we talked about. Hunter. And he texts me Hunter quotes all the time. And like, well, he won't finish them. And I'll like finish the quotes for him. Like, who the fuck do you think you're texting? And I'll just, we know this stuff like scripture. But when he saw that I was such a big Hunter fan, I mean, I had this tattooed on me when I was like 17. He went inside his house and he came back and he's like, open your hand. And he gave me Hunter's cigarette holder that he used in the movie Fear and Loathing that I got a tattoo of. So I got a tattoo of the same cigarette holder that he ended up giving me, which is so weird if you think about it, like manifested into real life. And I mean, being a diehard Hunter fan, I can't. And he's like, I'm giving you the Gonzo key. I'm passing the Gonzo torch to you. So it's pretty amazing. But I remember that particular day, I was squeezing out this bloody wife beater, and Karina was like, that is so sexy. And I was like, what? My ink? And she's like, no, that you stabbed those Nazi guys. Let's fuck. And I'm just like, it was like some really fringe genre porn setup. You know, I was like, weighed like 126 pounds, and she was pregnant. And I hate to say, but I did have sex with her, and she was pregnant with someone else's baby. And we were like shooting heroin in this bathroom. And I ended up hanging out with her for a while. And, you know, the problem was that I was homeless. Remember, we talked about it in the first video. My parents basically wanted me to get clean, and no way. That was my attitude then. I just, and I've always been kind of adventurous. I don't know if you can tell that about me, but like, even prison, I'm like, I'm going to turn this into an adventure. Even though it was hellacious and I was kicking methadone, I was still kind of looking forward to experiencing prison because of everything you've heard about it. I was like, fuck, man. Maybe I'll luck out and get ass fucked. I don't know. Anything's possible. But I kind of looked at it as a unique experience that I could have. And that's kind of how I looked at being homeless back then. I think I was always a writer at heart and just kind of wanted to experience some of the shadowy parts of the human condition and be able to talk about it. I always just had this really innate curiosity with the world. That's why I like guys. And so I ended up hanging out with her for a little bit. Now the problem is that I'd stabbed the NLR guy, and Santa Barbara's a small town, as I mentioned. And so now these guys are looking for me, and it becomes obvious very quickly. Now, so this is what I hear. It gets back to me because, okay, Santa Barbara's small to begin with. The heroin community makes it really small. It's like almost incestual at that point. I mean, you can't really do heroin in that town without running across all the heroin addicts, because there's probably not that many. There's like 50 of them. And it got back to me very quickly that where I'd stabbed him, right above the kneecap, it had done some sort of serious nerve damage where he was going to have to use a cane for the rest of his life. Now, in the book Wasting Talent, I made them gay skinheads that when I crawled through the window, they were making out. And, then at the end, what happened? I like stabbed them in the hands, and, Stomper was like, "Oh, EP, I love you so much." But I was just kind of talking. I just thought that'd be funny. Like if the book ever blew up, like if those guys read it and they're like, "We're not gay skinheads. We're heterosexual skinheads." You're fucking lame for being a skinhead to begin with. And, so, the fact that I was homeless was a real complication, because now I had these kind of white power guys actively looking for me. And so I started staying back with friends. Now, I told you I'd already had a pretty unsuccessful couch surfing tour, where people would let me stay with them for a little bit, and then I would get kicked out for the most ridiculous reasons. One example I talked about in Wasting Talent is my friend Max. He was living with this girl Jocelyn, who was one of my best friends growing up, and I kind of, introduced them to each other. Max had been sent away, and, Max and I have had a falling out within the last few years, but a lot of people have been trying to get us to make up. And with the coronavirus and the impending world doom, I might just make that call. I mean, or get on the other series, The Pimping and Pandering, we'll go into the downfall that him and I had, and it's pretty brutal. I like to hear people's opinions before, I try to reconnect with him. But Max, at one point, had let me stay in his Tahoe. He had a Chevy Tahoe. It's back when I was with that when I was with my ex, Kate. And we're he's like, "You guys can just sleep in my Tahoe that was parked in front of Jocelyn's house. But hey, man, no sex, homeboy. None of that sexual shit, homeboy." I was like, all right. He doesn't talk like that, but I just really like that voice lately. And and of course, so, what do 18-year-old kids do? They fuck, So we're like in the back of his Tahoe, and we just, every night, we'd like, we'd wave to them. We'd see the lights go off, and then... "Take your pants off, Kate." And then she'd take her pants off and just fuck in the back of their car. But this one night we were doing that, and she was on her period. So she took her bloody tampon out and she put it in the ashtray and forgot about it. And we got busted. And it was crazy because I denied it. I was like, "Dude, you're tripping. We didn't do that." He's like, "What do you mean you didn't do that? You guys have been living in my back seat. Who else would have done that?" I'm like, "I don't know." "You don't think it's possible that somebody did it as some sort of sick joke? God, you always have to blame me because I'm the drug addict. And he was really mad at me but at this point in my life, we were still friends, but that's just one of many examples why, like, I was 86'd from different people's cars or houses. But now that the skinheads were looking for me, it was absolutely imperative that I find somewhere safe to go where I'm not. I mean, they knew that I hung out at the square in Santa Barbara with all the other street kids. They knew I was a junkie, so they knew that if they were hanging out at shooting galleries and tweaker pads and flop houses and trap houses, that eventually they'd see me in my 126 pounds of glory. I wasn't, with my acne and my Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas tattoo, I was not scaring anybody, even though I did stab the guy. So I knew that I was in danger, and I had even called my parents at that point and been like, but you don't understand. Neo-Nazis want to kill me. And my parents are just like, Ryan, our therapist warned us that you would say something like this, specifically about skinheads. No, they didn't say that. But, and that's really is the truth, that at that point they were seeing some sort of therapist. And I think my dad started going to Al-Anon. And between the therapy and Al-Anon, my dad's new philosophy with me was don't enable Ryan. Don't enable Ryan. And, and he was very firm, go to treatment or you don't have anything coming from us. And I was like, fuck going to some nice treatment in Miami where I'm going to get mud baths and be around a bunch of broken, vulnerable, but still pretty good looking women. Sounds whack. I'm going to stay homeless in Santa Barbara while skinheads are trying to kill me. So I was, essentially homeless. And now one hustle that I had back then that saved me a lot is I wasn't selling coke, but I always had good drug connections. That's one thing I've always had. I remember like a few months ago, I was all wasted on GHB. I was like, I don't pay for drugs. And, in reality, I really don't. The other day I ordered some weed off a delivery service, but that's only because there's some, the whole city's locked down for the most part, but people generally just kick me down drugs now. I'm not talking about like ounces of heroin or coke or anything, but I have a lot of friends that get high or sell drugs still, and like they give me stuff. And back then I had a lot of good connections too. I don't know why. I just always have had like really solid ones, where I could get stuff for a lot cheaper than other people, or I had just had people be generous to me. I don't know why. But back then I had a really good coke dealer, and his name was August. And August was like a Santa Barbara Southsider, completely whitewashed, like none of that. Hey dog, very disrespectful, pero none of that. Like, oh hey Ryan, you need an 8-ball of coke? I'll be right there, bud. Stuff like that, But he still was a Southsider, even though he had shop work. And August would give me 8 balls for $70. Now I don't know what you guys pay where you are respectively, but I've always said this: good cocaine costs about $300 for an 8-ball. Like real cocaine. A gram of good coke should be $100. Like in Hollywood, like the movie stars that I know that do cocaine, that's what they pay. Now there's this like street level coke that's the kind of stuff where you snort it and like 30 minutes later you're just like, I want to kill myself. It's that ephedrine come down, which is commercial grade cocaine. That stuff generally goes for about $75 to $120. That's commercial. That's what the commercial going rate for cocaine is, or at least back when I used to do it. I don't even know, because like I said, nowadays I haven't done blow for a long time, but I have so many people that you see me on videos with are doing blow all the time around me, and I'm like, I'm good, bro. I'm cool, homeboy. I've been on parole, so now I'm just gonna do it whenever it's offered to me. No, I know how I get when I do coke. Coke really turns me into a straight up dope fiend way quicker than, well, I don't know, about the same as heroin. I know better though. Once I start, I can't stop. And wait, was it? Yes, it was $70 is what I was paying. $70 for an 8-ball from August, and I was 18. So I still hung out. Santa Barbara has a lot of rich kids. Like, I grew up with the director of Back to the Future. His name is, Zemeckis. What the fuck is his name? Alex Zemeckis? No, I don't know. Robert Zemeckis is the guy's name. He directed Castaway, Forrest Gump, Back to the Future, and we knew his son. That's like we knew Rob Lowe's kids. We knew the guy that played the Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges. I know his daughter. I grew up with Katy Perry. Her name was Katie Hudson. She went to Karina's school. They were in the same grade together. They were a grade ahead of me. Karina's a year older than me. So we were raised in a pretty upper scale place is what Santa Barbara is. So a lot of kids, it's so, we're insulated in that town. We don't really know what's up, we don't realize just how bad things are. It's a much different experience growing up in Santa Barbara than, say, growing up in, I don't know, Hollywood or Van Nuys, or even like somewhere like Silver Lake, Los Feliz, shit like that is much different than Santa Barbara. I mean, the Pasadena, even these guys are growing up where it's a lot rougher. Santa Barbara wasn't that way. So, and a lot of these kids were just kind of trust fund babies. And I got this Coke for $70 from August. I don't know why he gave it to me for that price, but I remember that's what I got it for. And then these rich kids would buy it for $120. And for a long time, me middlemaning it, because, people would call me these lame, Leone, what's up, brother? It's Garth. Just need some of that Yizzo. You get into that Yizzo? And I'm like sitting there like tying a belt around my arm. I'm like, yeah, bro, I got you. And I'm like, completely strung out because I was already an IV heroin addict. Cool, brother, I'm gonna come get you. Oh, and I'd make $50 off it, and $50 back when you're like on the street is, you're doing okay for $50. But as I got more homeless, as my homelessness progressed, I started realizing that I could really play these people better than just making $50. I could be like, hey, he can only get half a ball right now. And, it's going to be $80 for a half, and then the other half's 80. Leone, we need the whole thing, the party. Well, here, hey, where are you going to party? Let me come with you. Let me cruise with you. Yeah, brother. Let me cruise with you, and, I'll give you half the ball, and then, we'll party, and then we'll do the other half. Okay, Leone. Yeah, I just couldn't stand these guys. They were just straight dorks, and just really entitled brats. They would throw temper tantrums. So what I would do is I would call August and I'd be like, hey, I need a ball, but I need it I need it cut in half. And then I'd come back, I'd give them the half a ball, I'd go with them and party. Usually they'd get so wasted that they just let me tag along all night. And that kind of became a hustle for me. Like middleman Coke so that I could go party with these super wealthy, bratty, private school type kids, and then I would just hang out. Once in a while I'd fuck a girl that was there, and they'd be like, that ain't that chill, Leone. That's Tedith's girlfriend. Shit like that. But for the most part, I found that it was worth more. Hold on. Oh, I found that it was worth more to me. I dropped gum, sorry. I'm on Nicorette gum. I'm trying to quit smoking. So that's why you probably noticed I chew in videos, and I don't care anymore. People get all mad. So that was kind of one of my little side hustles at that time. Another thing that I would do pretty often during the period after I'd stabbed the skinhead, because now I had people that could legitimately hurt me after me. Now, Nazi lowriders are generally pretty rough people, I mean, they're kind of scummy, and they're predatory in prison, and they take advantage of white people even though they're white. They're just kind of pieces of shit. I knew that they were definitely going to try to retaliate because it had gotten back to me, like I said, that Ian was walking with a limp now. It was going to be permanent, and they were already trying to exact revenge on me. So I knew what time it was. So I was trying to hustle and, middleman Coke, and then maybe like go just try to tag along. And sometimes it would get awkward. I'd wake up just like I'd be passed out on someone's couch, one of these trust fund kids' couches. And I'd just like wake up at like 6 a.m. and they'd be shaking me, be like, Leone, look, dude, our parents can't see you here, homeboy. You look like a straight druggie. Here, we got you a cab, fool. Where do you need to go? And I'm like, just take me downtown so I can go back to panhandling. I mean, that's really what it was like for me back then. And another scam that I had, that I think I've touched on in other videos, but I haven't gone too into detail about, is I used to sell a lot of fake acid. And, I found that you could order blank blotter acid, kind of like the blotter that I was selling, the Shaky Jake blotter, that stuff right there, which I've sold all of 800 blotters and 10 artist proofs. They're all gone. And I sold them for pretty much 40 a piece the whole time. So that was a good investment on my part. But I would order these blank blotters, and I would cut them up, put them in cellophane, make it look like I had real acid. And what I would do is I would take a bus to Isla Vista, the college town, right by UCSB. And I would just go up to people and be like, hey, brother, I got some LSD right here. What's up, fool? And, people would be like, oh, no way. Here's $100 that, Uncle John just sent me. Thanks, brother. And I just started burning everyone an IV, and then I would take the money that I got from doing that, and I would take the bus back to downtown. Maybe I just made $100, whatever it was, and I'd go spend it on heroin and go put it right in my arm. Problem with that is I started getting a reputation in Isla Vista where I was that guy. I was the sketchy guy on the skateboard that sold fake acid, and, I had like fake names, I had street names. I was like, yeah, I'm Spider. What's up, fool? I'm Spider from Oxnard, shit like that. And trying to just, be deceptive. And, I figured out at a certain point that, even though I had pretty bad acne, I had, my parents had paid for braces when I was a kid. Like, they're not like super straight, but they're like not, I don't look like homeless with those teeth. How some people have homeless people teeth? It's like a brand of teeth. It's like, I want homeless. Let me get that. And then they're like missing teeth. Well, it always looked like my teeth, and back then they were much more white. I smoke a lot of cigarettes, and I drink coffee, so they get stained over the years. But back then they were like shiny white. So even though I had like this greasy face, I had like these nice white teeth, and that always kind of like helped me. I could like charm people with the teeth. I think it made me not look as homeless, and it also helped me kind of, hate to say it, it kind of helped me manipulate women out in Isla Vista. And what I would do is I would go out there, I would, do my acid scam, and sometimes I would just, cause the parties that they have in Isla Vista are just out of control. It's like house after house after house after house of party. It's, 20 houses on the street called Del Playa. This is a shooting occurred there. Remember there was that guy and he did all those videos and he was like, I'm a virgin. All people fucking must die. You remember that guy? What was his name? God, I want to ask my girl. What was that guy's name? Oh, he's such a scumbag. Piece of shit, dude. He stabbed some of his roommates. It was at UCSB in Santa Barbara. It was a shooting out in Isla Vista. I forget what his name was. But, man, what a psychopath. But this is where that shooting went down. So, but what I had found when I was a kid, because I would, I'd always go party out there when we were in high school. And we'd always start fights with people, in high school. Like me and my high school friends just go knock out college guys all the time. I don't know if I've ever told any of those stories. Side story. This is a good one. One time I was out there. And I was with probably like 10 of my good ass friends that I grew up with, like my like homeboys from high school. And, we were all like skater kids, but we all grew up just getting in brawls. And, we were those kids that just knuckleheads. We got in a lot of fights. Oh, we were always fighting. I never really liked fighting, but like when I was drunk and like when it was a brawl and I could like kind of look tough because I could just go kick someone while they were down and just be like, yeah, spit on them. fucking shit, don't fuck with my friends, fool. After they already beat him up, then I would do it. But we got involved with like a lot of brawls and stuff. And I remember this one night, like I said, there were about 10 of us. We go to this party, and we had a handle of Malibu rum, disgusting like coconut spiced rum or whatever, pounding Malibu all night. And I was wasted drunk, and I had Coke. I probably had like a couple grams on me, or I don't remember how much. I had some Coke on me though. And we go to this party, and my friend was like, we were like up on this balcony, and my friend was throwing bottles off of the balcony. It was like breaking on people. Everyone's like, "Hey, who's doing that?" And like we were like we were like crashing the party. We were like this group of like totally conspicuous guys that didn't fit in there, but these guys were pussies. So they're like, "Okay, party is over. No more partying. Everybody out of our house." And like nobody left. It's kind of awkward because I was like telling my friends, I'm like, I think they might be talking about us, and I was like stumbly drunk at this point. So I'm like, let's leave. This is whack, We're mostly guys anyway. So we're leaving, and I'm stumbling. Now, I've talked about it a million times. I'm not one of those stumbling drunk kind of guys. So probably was on something else. I don't remember. But I don't think I was on Xanax because I can remember this pretty clearly. But I must have been fucked up enough on something where it was a lot because I was stumbling around drunk. And I'm leaving, and I see this couple. Now, the guy is probably like 6'2". Remember, I'm 5'6". His girlfriend's probably like 5'4", closer to my size. I'm stumbling out. I got all my boys with me. We're all leaving this party because my friend was throwing the bottle off the balcony. And I look at the girl, and I'm looking at this dude she's with, and he's wearing like a USC, like red USC sweater. I was wearing a green Billabong hoodie that night. This will come in a little later in the story. And I look at the guy, I'm like, damn, your girl's fucking bomb. He's like, what? I was like, bomb. And he comes up to me, and he starts towering over me. He's like, "What'd you say, you little bitch?" Now, we're outside of the party now, and all of my friends just kind of start, like, they already know I'm going to take off on the guy. So they're all kind of, they know, it's how we grew up. So I walk out, or I like, I keep kind of walking, and he's kind of following me, and he's like, "What did you say, you little bitch?" And I go, "Say bitch again." And he goes, "Little," and before he could finish bitch, I'm just like, ugh, just dope fiend his ass. I hit him hard, right? And I'm a little guy. I Mighty Moused his ass. I kind of like jumped up and did like a disco punch. I got him in the chin, and I just knocked the dude out cold. I never do that. I was like looking. I was like, whoa. Now I just started getting bombed on, right? I just feel fists of fury on my head. I'm like, I'm trying to protect myself because it feels like it's coming at all angles. I can't see who's punching me, so I just flail my arms back, and I end up hitting his girlfriend was the one that was hitting me. And so as soon as she hits me, all of like these other guys that were at the party see what's going on, and they run on. This huge brawl ensues, and we're just all fighting. I'm wearing this green Billabong hoodie, and I'm all bloody. Like I got punched by like 2 or 3 different people, I think, including the girlfriend. I'm all fucked off, but because I had accidentally hit her, you can just hear them going, "Police, police, help us!" And I'm just like, holy shit. So I'm running, and I hear the girl be like, "The guy in the green hoodie, he punched me." And I was like, oh no. And I kept running, and they ended up, like, I was trying to jump over this fence. Now I remember I had a couple grams of blow on me, and I didn't even know I had the blow on me. And I'm just going over this fence with like this ivy brush covering it, just about to get away, and I just feel a cop grab me, just kind of yank me down, and I'm like, no. He's like, "Do you have anything on you?" I'm like, I have fucking needles. I've got HIV. Don't search me, bud. And he's like, he cuffs me, They end up putting on, like latex gloves, and they're all like, am I going to get, I'm like, I don't know. I can't promise you're not going to get poked with my HIV positive blood, bro. I don't know. And they end up finding the 2 grams of coke. What's crazy about that is I went to jail and I ended up getting out. I got released the next day. I didn't get charged with assault and battery. The girl had dropped the charges for some reason. And the cocaine, I got to do Prop 36, which let me do like drug and alcohol class to get it off my record. And that's one of the only charges that I was able to successfully complete and get it off my record. But anyway, I spent a lot of time out in IV. And what I found is that, first of all, you can go party out there and you can just get wasted and then just pass out in someone's room or something. And, the next day some like random Asian kid is like, hey man, that's my room. What's up? And you're like, oh, I was wasted last night. Sorry. There's that. And then a lot of girls have apartments back there. And there is a period where like I was just going out there and, like trying to fuck a chick just so I'd have a place to stay. And I was such a scumbag that I'd wake up in the morning, she'd still be passed out. I'd peel her arm off of me, go to her purse, take like $40, and I'd look at her and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm a drug addict, I gotta go. And I'd just like leave while she's still sleeping. And, that reputation starts to, precede you when you're out there. So I started being labeled as the guy that sells fake ass, the guy that fucks, fours for a place to stay, whatever. The old take one for the team kind of sucks when you're an independent contractor and you're homeless. I didn't have any team. I was just fucking nasty chicks for a place to stay. Like, I remember I got in a fight there around this time, probably when the skinheads were looking for me. I got beat up pretty bad by some black guys. Long story. But I got jumped by 3 black dudes after one of them gave me a titty twister. He's like, what you know about bloods? And I was like, what? And I was trying to say stuff to him, and they all just smashed me out. And I ended up going to this girl, and I see this girl, she's ordering pizza, and I just go up to her, I'm all lumped up, and I'm all bloody, and I was like, hey, I just caught my girl cheating on me, and the guy that's fucking her beat me up. I have this big old shiner. All I want to do is eat pizza and cuddle. And she's like, oh my God, that is so adorable. Come on in. And I ended up living with that girl for a couple weeks and stuff. And this was around that time. So I was doing stuff like that and just kind of trying to bounce from house to house in Isla Vista, passing out drunk and like scheming on girls to try to have a place to stay. Around that time, I get a call from a random girl. And she's like, hey, is this Ryan? I was like, well, that depends. Who's this? And she's like, oh, yeah. Dorian gave me your phone number. Are you still a coke dealer? I was like, what? No. Click. I was like, what the fuck? I was all freaked out. I was like, Jesus, probably a cop or something. And coincidentally, one of my other friends calls me. This guy, Matty. And he's like, hey, bro, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just busy being homeless. He's like, oh, hey, my parents are out of town. You can come stay at my place. Do you think you know any girls that we can party with? I was like, do I? Of course. Are you kidding me? Probably hadn't showered in like 3 weeks or something. It's like, dude, I got bitches, dog. Bitches. And he's like, cool, let me come swoop you up. And he drove a Range Rover. So being desperate to try to come through for him, with girls, I ended up calling that's probably the only girl's number I had. And the girl that had just called me and been like, are you a coke dealer? I called her. I was like, hey, this is Ryan. And she's like, oh, hey, this is Ariella. And yeah, Dorian gave me your phone number. He said that you sold cocaine. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, you need to stop saying shit like that on the cell phone. Don't ever call it cocaine. But yeah, I'm with my friend. Can I come over to your house so we can talk in person? She's like, oh, for sure. I live on the Mesa. So, then I'm with my boy and I'm like, yeah, dude, hey, these chicks right here, fine, homeboy, fire. He's like, really? Cool. My friend, this dude manages some pervert. So anyway, he swoops me up and we end up going to this house. And I'd never met these girls. I had no idea what Ariella looked like. And she said she was with a friend, so it was kind of perfect. But I didn't know. I mean, it could have been a hog. There's really just no way to know. And we get to this apartment complex, and her place was on the second floor. And Maddie's like, well, how well do you know these bitches? I'm like, dude, I know these bitches better than you could know any bitches, homie. That's how we talked at that age. I really don't like calling girls bitches. Like, I have friends that did that. Yeah, some bitch that I'm chilling with. And I'm like, damn, you don't respect. No, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna go on some moral high horse right now. But we show up at this house, and I knock on the door, and hug, homie. No, she was actually beautiful, and I was like, hey, I'm Ryan. She's like, oh, hey, I'm Ariella. She's like, this is my friend Ashley. And like, so they take us in. Now, my friend Maddie he's not the best looking guy. I'm not saying I am, but I can say I was better looking than him at that point in my life. He wasn't doing too good. And he actually went on to be a piece of shit rapist, and I'm not friends with him at all anymore. I don't really want to get into it, but fuck, I hope I never see that guy. Let's just say that. But we end up going in there, and they're like, so do you guys like have that cocaine? And I'm like, oh, I don't ever have it on me. I have to call this other guy, and he has it. And they're like, oh, okay. So I end up calling August, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, I'm on my way to Las Vegas right now. I'm like, what? And this was like my best coke dealer. This is the guy who gave it to me for $70 a ball. So, I got off the phone. I was like, yeah, he said for sure it's coming. But he said it's going to be a couple hours. They're like, oh, that sucks. What should we do? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we should drink. You guys have any booze here? They're like, no, but like, I guess we could go to the liquor store. So we end up going to the liquor store, and we got, I want to say vodka. Sounds about right. Pop vodka or some cheap vodka. So we end up getting vodka, Maddie's driving his little Range Rover, and we go to the liquor store, we get the vodka. And I'm sure he had a fake ID or something. Who knows? It was a long, long time ago. And we end up going back to their place, and we all start drinking. Now, I forgot to mention this. Maddie's little sister had killed somebody the night before drunk driving, and it was a big scandal. And she killed her best friend's mom. So, like, I guess they were all drinking somewhere, and the mom included was drinking. So my friend's sister was like, I'll drive, but she was drunk as well. She was just like the least drunk out of the three of them. They got in a car accident. My friend's sister killed the mom and her best friend. So she killed two people drinking and driving. And she was like 16, but she was looking at like real time, yeah. So he was spooked out about it. So he wasn't drinking. Classic rapist shit. He's like, hey, why don't you guys get wasted? I'll just chill and watch. It's like, oh, that's not creepy. Okay. So we end up getting just straight sloshed. No other way to say it. We're drunk. And the girls are like, let's go skinny dipping in the ocean. So we end up, they're on the Mesa in Santa Barbara. It's not too far from the beach. So we all leave this apartment, and we end up going down to the beach. And I've never, look, I walked around for 24 hours naked at Burning Man. I have no problem being naked. I don't know. I like nudity. Let's just put it this way. If we're friends in real life, you've seen me naked 100%, because I'm one of those guys that always thinks it's funny to be naked. You know, like if I have to take a piss and I'm at like one of my friends' houses, guy or girl, I'll go to the toilet, leave the door open, and I'll yank my pants down and my boxers down to my shoes, like how little kids pee, and I'll just be standing there taking a piss with my pants, you know, like crumpled down to my shoes. So I look like a 3 or 4-year-old taking a piss in a urinal or something. And people always think that's the funniest thing. And I'll leave the door open on purpose so that, you know, so that's the gum, so that they see it. So anyway, so I get, but I'm like, yeah, fuck it, get naked, and the girls end up getting naked too. But my friend Maddie's like, I don't know, bro. I'm pretty sober. I'm just gonna sit here and watch you guys. I'm like, dude, that's so creepy and gross. Don't do that. You're killing the night, bro. He's like, I don't know. I'm weirded out because I'm sober. You're weirded out to be naked with 2 girls and me, who you've known for a long time because you're sober? Whatever, rapist. I didn't know that he was yet. And that's confirmed. He really is. Scumbag. Fuck. Ugh. I don't even want to say what he did, but let's just say he raped someone I know very well. Probably someone you couldn't know even better. You know, there's nobody better that you could know if you were me, as far as a woman goes. And this guy raped her. I'm mad about it. I just hate that he's the one that's in the story. But anyway, so we dry off. It's pretty fun. We're not hooking up or anything. We're just splashing around. You know, woo, we're naked. And I'm like, oh, yeah, my dick's just like this because the water's so fucking cold. And the girl's like, it's kind of cute though. You know how drunk girls are. They're probably not even drunk. I just ended up drinking all the vodka. No, they were drinking too. So then we end up going back to their place. And we go back there and we drink more. And they're like, where's the Coke? And I'm like, you know, I pretend like I'm making a phone call. I'm like, check it out, homeboy. Me and Maddie we're pretty upset right now. If you don't get here in the next 10 minutes, we're going to shoot you, dog. Hang up. I'm like, yeah, I told my drug dealer I'm going to shoot him if he's not. And they're like, so sexy. I was like, you know, I can't even help it. It's just how I am. I'm not even fronty. It's just, you know, I'm kind of just born tough like this. They're like, oh my God, I'm so drunk. I'm like, me too. Let's drink more. So we end up drinking more. And then I come up with the idea. I'm like, hey, let's play hide and seek naked. And they're like, oh my God, such a good idea. Let's go. And of course me, like, naked again. You know, my clothes are still wet from the ocean, but now I'm naked again. And I'm like, okay, this is the rules. And so like, we're just standing there naked, you know, they're kind of like, and of course I'm holding my crotch. I'm not trying to have anyone see my dick in the day or in the light. And once again, I'm like, dude, take your clothes off, dude. What are you doing? This is, do you not know what's going to happen? This is like, we're going to fuck him. We're at that point. I mean, there's only so much I can do in this situation, buddy. And he's like, fine. So he takes his shirt off. Dude, he has like Austin Power level chest bush. It's like so retro and British. It was so, I was like, ugh, no wonder you don't take, what the fuck? You're like 20 years old. What's going on, dude? Look like some fucking 1970s Olympic star or something. It was really weird. And he takes down his pants and he's wearing whitey tighties. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's that? It was like Fruit of a Loom whitey tighties. I was like, what? I was like, well, take them off. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling very comfortable with this. I'm like, dude, you're a fucking bitch, dude. Okay, whatever. So I tell the girl, so we're all naked. I'm naked. They're naked. Maddie's not. I'm like, all right, so this is how it's going to work. You guys are going to hide. And we're going to seek. If you know what I mean. They're like, oh my God, I'm just so wasted. Okay. So they start running around the house. You know, classic, like, 19, 20-year-old kids running around playing hide and seek naked with the lights off at some 2-bedroom apartment. So we're looking, opening closets, looking at Matt. He's got his fucking time. I'm like, you're a bitch, dude. Wearing his whitey tighties. I was like, lame. Live a little, bud. Jesus. Then we end up finding them. I forget where they were. They were like in the bathtub or something. And they're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. It was kind of not that much fun for me anymore. So I'm like, look, check it out. Check it out, dog. I said, look, the next time that we find you, we get a prize. And they're like, okay. It was like some... Anyway, I don't know why I just said well, because they're pretty good looking, but anyway, so they hide, right? And we're like counting to 20. 1, 2. He's all in the rapist. He's like, oh, dude. I'm just looking at his chest chia pet shit. I'm like, ugh. Sucks to be the chick that has to fuck that dude. Ugh. And 18, 19, 20, ready or not, here we come to seek. We start walking around this house, and he's like, my idiot friend, my ex-friend, he's not my friend anymore, he's like, where do you think they are? I'm like, I know where they are, bro. We get a prize. What do you think this is? They're in the bedroom. Duh. He's like, how do you know that? I'm like, all right, dude. So I'm playing the part. I'm like, oh, I wonder where they are, Maddie. He's like, I don't know. I just want to rape them. No, he didn't say that, and that's not even funny because this dude really is that way. But we end up getting to the bedroom. When you see these body, you can tell they're under the sheets. I elbow him, and he's just like, oh my God, I can't believe it's real. I'm like, I don't know how you couldn't see this coming. So I come and I yank the sheet off, and I'm like, seeked you. And they're like, oh, you're so slick. Legs just come up, and I just, crawl on top of one of them, start kissing her, and he crawls on top of the other one and starts kissing her. I swear to God, too, she's like, in the middle, she's like, we're gonna like switch off at some point, right? And Maddie's like, yeah, for sure. And I'm literally having sex with this chick, just like on the bed, 0 fucks given. I'm just like, she's one of those, and Maddie's like, I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with this anymore, bro. I'm weirded out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, what are you weirded? Okay, dude. All right. And he's still wearing his whitey tighties, by the way. So I'm like, all right, go wait in the living room. I'll do what needs to be done. And he just bows his head down like a little bitch. Walks back to the living room. So now I'm just with the two of them. And that was my second threesome with girls. I've never done the 2 dudes, 1 chick thing. I've done 3 dudes and me. Like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ryan. I'm trying to get down, fool. But that was my second time with 2 girls. The first time was when I was probably like 16. But this was the second time. No, another one. This is the third one. Third time I'd done that. And it was pretty cool. We were, not to go too much into it. I mean, kissing and telling isn't that cool. But, we bed, and then we go in the bathroom, and, I turned into, like, the dominant male. It was like, okay, bend over, lick her butthole. All right, cool. I'm, like, timing it. I'm like, oop, all right, that was 12 seconds. All right. You guys switch. Okay, now both of you down here. All right. And I was like making a joke out of it, but it really went down. So then he comes, this little bitch. So then we finish, and I'm like, toweling my hair, lighting a cigarette. No, I'm fucking homeless during this period. This guy's driving a Range Rover. And I'm uncomfortable. No wonder you're a rapist, you scumbag. I hope he's watching this. I doubt him. Doubt that guy's going to pay $10 a month or more to see private content from me when I'm going around telling everyone in the world he's a fucking rapist, you know? But anyway, so what ends up happening is he's like, I gotta go. So he takes off. So I end up just being with these two girls. Now, they weren't roommates. They were just friends. And the girl, Ashley, ended up taking off. So I was just with the girl that had the apartment, which was like perfect for me because I had nowhere to live. I was like, this is perfect. No skinheads can find me here. So, me and her we started fucking pretty regularly. And I forget what she did for a living. I think she was a waitress. She was going to college. I think she was a waitress on the side or something. I don't remember. But her parents were like paying the rent type of thing. It's a really nice place. And, I never ended up getting them that Coke that night. But the next day, I was able to get her Coke. And her friend Ashley came back. We had a very similar night, except fucking my loser Maddie friend wasn't there. And this went on for like a week. I mean, honestly, at that point in my life, that was like winning the lottery. I was just with these like two Cocos, and they were both pretty good looking, and I was homeless. And I was chilling, you know, back in the struggles of my homelessness. I was having a pretty good time. And now things got a little weird when this happened. So I remember one night, it was probably, so it was about 4 or 5 days later. And this girl had money. So she'd give me, I'd be like, hey, let me get $40. Well, what do you need it for? Oh, cigarettes, stuff like that. Go get heroin, shit like that. And, I was sketched out doing that because I was scared that somebody was gonna, tell the NLR guys where I was. And so I'm maintaining my heroin habit. And I remember one night, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason we were fucking in the closet. And, anal in the closet. Yeah, I remember. I remember because she had to go get, what's it called? Coconut oil. She's like, hold on, let me go get my Trader Joe's coconut oil. It's like, no problem. I'll just stay here and beat off while you're gone. She's like, okay, cool. I'm sitting there like bent over, beating off like such a weirdo. But so I remember then that was in her closet. I don't know why. I don't remember why, but I just remember clearly we were in that closet. And I ended up falling asleep by myself in there. I think she was with me, but I ended up falling asleep. Anyway, I wake up the next morning and I hear essays talking. Now, this is like some rich valley girl type, and I just wake up and I'm in the closet. I don't know why I slept in there. I remember she was with me, and then I don't know. Well, for whatever reason, I'm in the closet, and I'm here like, yeah, dog, fucking in Lompoc. This fucking female, dog. Hey, there's essays everywhere, fool, and they're fucking tough, kinda, you know what I mean? They're fucking kinda tough, dog. They're the kind of tough guys that are like not even tough, but they, like their personality is though, cause so they kill people though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, Pero? I'm like, what? Where did these guys come from? And I kind of like open the closet. It's like one of those door closets. Where, I don't know how to describe it. There's like little slits going down where, they can't see me, but I can kind of like look down and see some stuff, but I couldn't see anyone. I could just hear. But I start opening it a little bit, and now I can see them. There's about 6 of them, and they're smoking crystal meth, like in a circle with her. She's like in the middle of it. It's like some straight up multiracial gangbang. I was like, if this goes down, I'm going to straight beat off right here. I don't even care. I don't even care that I'm dope sick. This is female for sure. And so I'm kind of just watching, and I'm like, what happened last night? All I remember is the anal and the coconut oil, and now she's with these essays. And we will get into what happens in the next episode of Florida. And by the way, so, I know I did like a 10-minute opening. That's why I gave you guys such a long opening. Or video. But just so you know, a lot of stuff happened leading up to Florida that is relevant to while I was actually there. So we're probably like 3 or 4 videos. I don't know about that many. Maybe a couple videos, 1 or 2 videos away from me actually going there. But this part is pretty interesting. The stuff that happens that leads up to why I had to go in the first place. You guys know that there were skinheads after me, and you know that at one point I ran out of a courtroom and got chased out of it by a bailiff, and then I was crawling on my hands and knees looking for heroin on the street, high on meth. And then I had a breakdown and called someone. I went to rehab in Florida. But it's pretty interesting what led up to that. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to cover in the next videos. I'm going to do another video right now, the Pimping and Pandering 2, I think. I'm going to try to upload this for you guys. But you guys are my biggest supporters, and I certainly appreciate you. We'll keep this one just on the $10 tier and up. And I'm going to start doing the Parting with Celebrity series for my VA for $20 tier and up, so that there's all these parallel storylines going on at once. And I want to start doing content like 3 or 4 hours a day worth. I think I can do that. Now we're stocked up on groceries and stuff. I think I'm ready to commit to that kind of output. And I know you guys will really appreciate it if there's just 3 or 4 videos, interviews, stories, all the stuff I'm doing, just a lot more of it. I appreciate you. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Palabra.